Well, there was a story that you talked about where Tupac told you to shoot Biggie.
Yeah.
At the Soul Train Awards?
At the Soul Train Music Awards.
He actually said that to you.
What happened was, so there was a guy that was holding a gun. It wasn't Biggie. Biggie was there standing in the area. But he was really talking about the guy that had the gun, who we find out later.
C-Gutta.
C-Gutta.
Right.
But he never pointed the gun up. He just kept pointing it down. But me, I'm, licensed to carry in California. I'm pointing my gun at him. However, the Muslim brothers who was also security there from the FOIs were in the middle, telling brothers, doing what they were doing. And I'm telling them, brother, this dude just better not raise that gun. Tupac, being who Tupac is, I know we got a halo over Tupac head now, but Reggie Wright don't put a halo on Tupac head. He's standing behind him, shoot him, Reggie, shoot him, just because they showing a gun.
Huh.
I'm telling them, I'm begging and pleading with C-Gutta, don't raise that gun. Because if he would have raised it, he would have got shot. But that's all. But Tupac, this being Tupac behind, shoot him, Red, shoot him. Grabbing my
He's grabbing your arm.
He's grabbing my arm, trying to take the gun, really.
Damn.
You guys run into each other at the Soul Train Awards.
Yeah.
Tell me about that situation.
There ain't really too much to tell. It's like Big. I think Big got an award for some best song of the year, something like that. For the One More Chance, and we was leaving because we had a flight to go to North Carolina, and while we was leaving, Don Cornelius was talking to Big, was like, "Why you leaving?" You know what I'm saying? He was asking him, because Big just got his joint, went to the back, took some pictures, and we was leaving. So Don Cornelius, was trying to get. So they had, had their little conversation or whatever, and that's when they pulled up in a Hummer. Sugar and them pulled up in a Hummer, and I don't know exactly, who was in the joint besides him and Pac, but Pac was leaning out the window, y'all on the west side, get this shit over with right here and now. And Suge was talking to some to the Fruit of Islam dudes, the bow tie dudes. He was talking to them, but he was like aggressive. So, it was me, Big, Un, and C's, and some security dude. So I just slid the burnout, because I don't know what dude, what his intentions was. And, he seen the gun. Oh, he got a strap, and then we slid off. Yeah, but it was a bunch of dudes with death row pieces with burgundy. I would assume they was from Peru. I had a bunch of burgundy hoodies and sweatshirts with death row chains. So, it was definitely not pretty.
And so that's what happened at the rear of Soul Train Music Awards. Don Cornelius and his guy, I remember his guy's name was Reggie. He had a big dude that used to be like his head security. They came and got Suge and Tupac and took them straight in and went inside the award show.
Well, there was a lot of rumors floating around that Tupac was getting ready to leave death row, right? And then that in turn will create conspiracy theories of like, oh, that's why Suge had Tupac killed, because he knew he was leaving. He wanted to kill him before he left so he could own the catalog or whatever else. Now, Idi Amin from the Outlaws, who's actually a good friend of mine, said that Tupac wasn't planning on leaving death row.
I agree. Like I always say, if he was a better actor than what we thought he was, because he was not showing that. You go and listen to the audio where he's talking 4 days before he got shot at the MTV Music Awards, when he's getting interviewed and he's talking about pumping up a subsidiary company, Death Row East. A lot of people think that was going to be Tupac. That was just a subsidiary company of Death Row East, just like Def Jam at the time was doing Def Def Jam West and stuff like that. Okay. We had no idea if that's the plan. Who can really say if it's true or not? We didn't know. But let's just talk common sense. Yeah, okay. Suge had him fire David Kenner as representing him as the attorney, entertainment-wise. Tupac was still out on an appeal bond, fighting it in court.
Mm-hmm.
There was no attorney. I mean, Johnny Cochran will say, but he got him out on appeal bond, and Suge was in the Interscope, and everybody was splitting the bill to keep him free or to try to get him to win this appeal. It was looking good.
So you think Tupac would have won the appeal?
I think he was going to win the appeal,
Huh.
but we don't know.
We don't know yet.
But my point is, to all that, why would you be threatening to leave somebody that's doing all of this for you, that got this appeal bond out, got this appeal going on? If he was left up front, David Kenner was going to be done. He wasn't going to be working that.
Well, okay, but to be fair, I think me and Edie were the ones, I had the conversation with him really early on. And Pac was planning on leaving music altogether and just focusing on acting. In fact, I remember me and QD3 had this conversation because QD3 produced on Machiavelli. Pac was going to give the Machiavelli album out for free as just a free mixtape.
Correct, it was a mixtape. Yes.
Yeah. I remember QD3 was like almost crying when he heard that. He was like,
it was a mixtape.
This is like some of my best work. Please put this out, Pac.
Yes.
Which ultimately did come out. But
Correct.
then by that time, Pac was dead, so he really had no decision.
He was really trying to go into the movie side of it, but he was also going into the executive side of it. And that's why you hear about Suge was going to be the distributor, and he had Snoop was going to come up with this label called Doggy Style Record. MC Hammer was coming up with this record company called Hammer Time. Tupac was coming up with Machiavelli Records. And then also you had the Death Row East, which a guy by the name of Big D from New York, and Eric B was going to be running. And they were all going to be up on the Death Row. And Suge was going to be the one putting up the money for the operations or the record companies to operate.
Yeah, I think a lot of outsiders think that people who own content, whether it's music or videos or movies or whatever else, like they somehow have this big like lottery win when somebody dies, but it's actually the opposite effect. Most times it's the opposite. When the person dies, yeah, you could put out one last little project, because people are talking about that person,
Correct.
remembering. That person's not creating anything new. They're not
Correct.
touring. They're no
And
longer in
they're
the
not
media.
promoting it.
They're no longer creating projects that people are, checking for. And with 99% of people, slowly over time, the interest starts to wane.
Correct.
So ultimately, we lose out when the person dies.
Correct.
Nobody really wants this, right? Now the public, oh no, you're gonna own this. Yeah, okay. Tupac obviously is, he's lasted the test of time, but Tupac's not as popular now as he was when he was at his height.
Correct.
It's not even close.
And who knows where he would be today? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
He could have been Jay-Z right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could be at that level where he just drops a
I really
verse
think
every
he'd
so
be in
often.
politics or something, but
Yeah,
but
he might get into politics.
Yeah.
Got into politics. There's a whole bunch of stuff that Tupac could have gotten, but ultimately, and Tupac was also special because he had a lot of verses that was, that were recorded.
Correct.
He was
He was a workaholic.
He was a workaholic.
He was a
Biggie was
workaholic.
not like that.
Yes.
Biggie, I remember I just interviewed Stevie J. Biggie comes in, he does one take. That's all you're getting out of him.
Tupac,
He's
when
not
he was
gonna
on the
redo it.
set of a movie set, was in there writing lyrics to go to the studio after the set of the movie to record that night.